you're starting up a business, cash is always tight. Any way that you can postpone expenses up until you have a strong turnover should be thought about, which is why numerous small business owners search for totally free web hosting for their very first website. But great complementary web hosting can be challenging to find. We advise that even if you're on a stringent budget plan, you need to pick an affordable web hosting service rather due to the fact that totally free web hosts typically need to cut corners to stay afloat. You'll constantly come up against the tight constraints that totally free web hosting has, such as minimal disk space, slow speeds, or absence of reliability. Many complementary web hosts are designed to oblige you to update to among its paid strategies once you've become irritated at the restrictions of the free variation. That being said, we evaluated several businesses to discover the best complementary web hosting offered in 2020, and we found numerous options worth considering. InfinityFree's totally free web hosting service takes on some of the paid plans from developed web hosts. InfinityFree best free web hosting general disk space, unlimited bandwidth, unlimited subdomains, unlimited 99.9% uptime, unlimited disk space and bandwidth, no ads, middling speeds. InfinityFree has to do with as good as a free web hosting service gets. For a start, you get limitless disk space, bandwidth, and subdomains. There are no required advertisements on your site. InfinityFree states that it makes sufficient money from the ads on the control panel to support the service. It's been around for over 8 years, so you know that your website is unlikely to just vanish one day if the company folds. InfinityFree also has a 99.9% uptime guarantee. We like that you can set up over 400 applications through the Softaculous one-click script installer. This makes establishing a WordPress, Joomla, or Drupal site a breeze. InfinityFree even uses complementary DNS, SSL, and CloudFlare CDN assistance. As numerous paid hosts charge for these services, it's remarkable to see in a complementary host. In our performance tests, load times were not terrible, however unimpressive. If your site takes off, you can quickly update to InfinityFree's $6.90 per month Ultimate Premium strategy for unrestricted everyday hits and faster server reaction times. ByetHost imposes a 10 MB optimum file size limitation. ByetHost, a professional totally free host to get you began disk area, 5 GB bandwidth, unlimited subdomains, 1 unlimited bandwidth 24/7 assistant site home builder with design templates 10 MB maximum file size. ByetHost is an Ohio-based web hosting business with shared hosting, virtual personal servers, and dedicated servers. Its totally free plan is essentially an intro to its services, and you are motivated to update to a more effective paid plan when you've set up your website. You get 5 GB of disk space, unlimited bandwidth, and 5 email addresses. Other features consist of limitless MySQL databases, an online file supervisor, and Softaculous automobile script installer. Support is great too, with a handy knowledge base, a busy neighborhood, and 24/7 tech support. Unlike numerous complementary hosting companies, FreeHostingNoAds has a modern-day, tidy website. FreeHostingNoAds, a no-frills totally free hosting company. Disk area, 1 GB bandwidth, 5 GB subdomains, unlimited modern site style, straightforward strategies, 99.9% uptime, 15 MB file size limitation. FreeHostingNoAds is a free hosting item from appreciated web hosting service provider Runhosting. Its strategy is reasonably modest: 1 GB of storage, 5 GB of bandwidth, and free email. We actually like these types of plans that are straightforward and don't overpromise on a complementary service. You get a file supervisor, FTP assistance, a free app installer, and support for PHP. You can utilize the free website builder if you do not desire to code your website yourself. As the name suggests, FreeHostingNoAds does not put any forced ads on your website. On the drawback, the one-click installer only supports 3 applications, file size is restricted to 15 MB, and an SSL certificate costs $30. FreeWebHostingArea has actually been around considering that 2005, and its site is showing its age. FreeWebHostingArea, an old-school totally free host for programmers and web developers. Disk area, 1.5 GB bandwidth, unlimited subdomains, 1 automatic backups, fast SSD hosting, 99.8% uptime assurance. Basic control panel. FreeWebHostingArea has been providing complimentary web hosting given that 2005, making it one of the longest running complimentary web hosts on the internet. Because it's run and preserved by volunteers, it's an intriguing choice. Your website will be erased if it does not get any visitors for a month. With this strategy, you get 1.5 gigabytes of web space, 3 MySQL databases, limitless bandwidth, and automatic backups. That's more than you get with some paid plans. The ancient style of the FreeWebHostingArea website tells you that there are few animal conveniences used by this web host. There's no one-click installer or web-based drag-and-drop design user interface. Basically, you must only select this web host if you're an experienced web designer who knows how to utilize FTP and how to establish web applications by hand. AwardSpace's complementary strategy could work for a small business or individual site. AwardSpace, a free web host with a 99.9% uptime guarantee. Disk space, 1 GB bandwidth, 5 GB subdomains, 399.9% uptime, one-click installer, no advertisements, 15 megabytes file size limit. AwardSpace is a web hosting provider that offers cloud hosting, VPS hosting, and dedicated servers. Its totally free web hosting plan is meant to get you interested. You get 1 GB of disk area, 5 GB of bandwidth per month, 3 subdomains, 1 MySQL database, and 1 email account. This is practically enough for a small personal site. AwardSpace uses its own app installer called Zaki. With the free plan, you can just install WordPress, Joomla, or Grab. With a paid plan, nevertheless, you can utilize Zaki to install around 30 popular web applications. There's also a drag-and-drop website contractor, but on the totally free hosting plan, you're restricted to producing a single-page site with it. AwardSpace's free plan might work for a small company or personal website. WebHost, one of the longest-running complimentary web hosting services. Disk area, 300 megabytes bandwidth, 3G subdomains, 199% uptime guarantee. CloudFlare protection, poor security history. Web pages are watermarked. WebHost is a product from Hostinger, among the world's biggest web hosting companies. WebHost has actually been around for over a year and has actually built up over 18 million users. Its free plan is quite restricted. You just get 3 GB of bandwidth each month, 300 megabytes of disk area, and 1 subdomain. Features like SSL certificates, backups, 24/7 assistance, and email accounts are only offered on the paid strategies. WebHost suffered an enormous data breach in 2015, where countless account details were stolen. Steps have actually been made to shore up security. WebHost just barely makes our list, as it's been usurped by more secure free services that have more features. It only takes a few minutes to set up a complimentary site on FreeHosting.io. FreeHosting.io, unlimited disk space and bandwidth on a complimentary plan. Disk area, unlimited bandwidth, unlimited subdomains, 3 Cpanel assistance. Softaculous one-click setup tool. Poor client support. Websites are typically suspended for approximate reasons. FreeHosting.io has 10 years experience in web hosting. It's simple to sign up for a free site and have it up and running in a matter of minutes. FreeHosting.io. Free strategy offers you endless bandwidth and disk space, 3 MySQL databases, and approximately 3 subdomains. Administration is done through Cpanel, and you have an easy suite builder for creating a website using a drag-and-drop interface. What's exciting is the assistance for Softaculous, a tool that you can use to set up a large range of popular site software application with simply one click. There are over 400 scripts to install, from content management systems to project management tools. FreeHosting.io is a smaller outfit that doesn't have the proven track record of some of the other entries on this list. The FreeHosting.io support forum is full of consumers complaining that their site has been suspended, seemingly without cause. We were not able to get a reaction from technical support on the issue, so we think twice to put an important site on this host. The GoogieHost website includes lots of spelling errors, which does not influence self-confidence. GoogieHost many features if you can get a complimentary account. Disk area, 1 GB bandwidth, unlimited subdomains, unlimited cPanel hosting, 1 GB SSD storage. No ads. Site feels a bit sketchy. GoogieHost is a totally free hosting company located in Lucknow, India. It's been running for 8 years and has more than 200,000 users. That stated, the service can feel a little sketchy, since it's no coincidence that GoogieHost could be mistaken for Google Host. The company's site even specifies that it ran into numerous issues with Google because of this. GoogieHost has actually been retooled as a non-profit organization, presumably to navigate the legal problems of using such a similar name to Google. But if you can look past all that, GoogieHost is quite an impressive totally free host. It has servers in the USA, UK, and New Zealand, and the company assures a 99.95% uptime. While it has its own control board, you can likewise utilize the popular cPanel to manage your website. Free plans get a huge 1000 megabytes of storage area on quick SSDs, no less. You likewise get endless bandwidth, free subdomains, 2 MySQL databases, and totally free email. It even has a free website contractor and Softaculous auto script installer. Upon registering for GoogieHost, you have to inform the group why you desire a free account. We suspect that this is a method to weed out new members unlikely to wish to upgrade to a premium account in the future. FreeHostingEU. Add free hosting with severe restrictions. Disk space, 200 megabytes bandwidth, 4 terabytes subdomains, 5 web-based email. No forced advertisements. Limited disk area. Maximum file size of 15 megabytes. FreeHostingEU has complimentary web hosting, though the desire for you to update to among its paid hosting plans from $4.95 per month is clear. The totally free service has substantial restrictions. You can't upload any file over 15 megabytes in size, your disk space is restricted to a paltry 200 megabytes, and you have a 4 terabytes bandwidth limitation. As you might expect, these limitations are eliminated when you pay for advanced hosting. While there are installers for WordPress and Joomla on the totally free strategy, you do not get access to the rest of the installers without being on a paid plan. These consist of PHP-BB, Drupal, Elg, MediaWiki, Moodle, and Zenphoto. E-commerce tools like ZenCart, OzCommerce, and PrestaShop are also locked off behind the paywall. FreeHostingEU has to do with as fundamental as you can get with free web hosting, and the limitations of the service will most likely have you wanting to upgrade or look in other places. HyperPHP has good totally free hosting but requires ads to be placed on your website. HyperPHP disk space, unlimited bandwidth, unlimited subdomains, unlimited disk space and bandwidth. cPanel administration. Slow FTP. Forced ads on web pages. HyperPHP is a web hosting company with a free plan that is well specified, with unlimited everything, as long as you adhere to the conditions of the service. You get cPanel administration, an online file manager, FTP access, and as much as 400 MySQL databases. There's a drag-and-drop site builder tool, and with the Softaculous app installer, you can quickly install over 400 popular web apps, including WordPress, PHP-BB, Dolphin, Geeklog, and PH7 CMS. Unfortunately, on the complimentary plan, PostgreSQL and webmail are not supported and obtrusive advertisements are injected into your websites. Premium plans without any advertisements begin at $4.99 per month.